What's up, guys? Hey, man. Sorry I'm late. What's up, everybody? Scheduled for 2 a.m. Past that, I'm on the East Coast. Gotta get some sleep. Sorry, guys. I'm late. If you guys had to leave, I apologize. Looks like we only have 4 of you. What's up, Sensei Seth? You know me. It's only 11:15 out here. What's up, guys? I have to cook. I'm doing a little. I got some spaghetti going, so I gotta do this while I talk to you. Thank you, Bashar. I just gotta stir the spaghetti. So I don't know if I'm doing this right, if my technique is correct or not, but anyway. So yeah, guys, if you guys didn't know, our boy Jesse Strader lost last weekend on Saturday. It was his debut in the UFC. We were a heavy underdog, so we kind of knew that we were up against a tough opponent, but we definitely thought we could win. We had what I felt was a good first minute and a half. We were landing a lot of leg kicks, but we found out we had a big weakness, and we had a weakness in our training in the clinch, obviously. And it's not something we spent a whole lot of time in the pre-fight camp. Keep in mind, guys, this was a fight on 10-day notice. So there really wasn't a camp. We were training, but as you guys saw, Jesse had been on a TeachMeGrappling video or two. And we were training, but so it's not like we were out of shape or anything. But Jesse's kind of new to me as one of my guys, and I've been working with him for several months now, and he's got pretty good all around skills. It's pretty good stand up, pretty good jiu-jitsu, pretty good wrestling. But the thing about it is, when you're getting ready for a fight in the UFC, we're not talking about, some low level entry. We're talking about like highest level. Obviously, we're not fighting for the title, but our opponent's already had like 5 fights in the UFC. The guy's pretty good. At that level, you can't make these kind of mistakes that we made, and otherwise you're gonna pay for your mistakes. And the thing is, we had a thing in our training where we're in a clinch and we push our way out. And when we threw a knee, and then out of the knee strike, we pushed our way out and left our face wide open, and we got hit with a hook. And we actually got hit with 2 hooks. So the first one dropped us. We got back up. Our opponent went for a darce. We were able to defend the darce, which I was happy about, because we knew that was one thing we knew he had. We knew he had a darce. And let's check out my spaghetti, guys. Hold on. It's hot. I got to check to see if it's al dente. Let me see. Not done yet. Pretty good though. So anyway, back to the fight. We defended the darce. He went for a sacrifice darce. We pulled out. We came at him in a flurry. Again, most of the damage we were doing was with leg kicks. We did get one good body shot straight to the stomach, but again, not like we ever hurt our opponent that bad. I know the leg kicks were working pretty good because our opponent started to get more aggressive. But again, once we got in the clinch and knees started getting thrown 3 times, we backed out of the clinch and we got caught. But the second time, our opponent threw an elbow and he missed. So we were able to avoid getting hit on that one, but we kept going back to it. We kept going back to trying to separate from the clinch, and that became a huge error, and we paid for it. So I titled this this live, "We Lost Our Fight, I Believe Now What?" And I tried to make a little mean face, but what I really want to tell you guys is, you know, how I look at things, which I hope a lot of you guys already look at it like this. You know, it never feels good to lose a fight. It never feels good. But when you lose, you have to find what's good about it. And what's good about it is we're going to get better now. I felt this way for a long time myself. When I've lost, I get a feeling, but it's also this is how I've taught myself. So it's not like everybody's this way. But I've taught myself to feel good about losing to a degree. Obviously, nobody likes to lose. I don't like to lose. I was upset, but when it first happened, but I instantly got a feeling of thank you. Thank you for beating me. You exposed up my weakness, and now I can get better. And I want to tell you guys that this is the approach we all have to take. When you lose, when you make a mistake, when someone punches you, kicks you, chokes you, armbars you, takes you down, controls you, demoralizes you, you have to find your weakness. It gets exposed. It's brought into the light by your opponent. So why would you not thank your opponent for that? You need to, I'm not saying you have to be the happiest loser in the room, because there's something wrong with being a happy loser as well. But my point is respect to our opponent. Thank you. His name is Montel Jackson. Thank you, Montel, for exposing our weakness. And now we can try to get better. Our clinch work is going to be improved upon once we get back in the gym. After every fight, with a fight where you get TKO'd or KO'd, you're definitely going to have to take some time off. So Jesse's going to be resting. Oh, look at that. And we're almost there. We're almost there. In fact, I could do that. I could do that. So when we get better and we're back in the room, we're going to work on it. We're going to work on that stuff. And so that's what's up. So after you lose, what now? You work on your mistakes, you make your weaknesses your strengths, and you get better. Simple as that. All respect to the opponent. I don't feel horrible. I feel like, you know what? It's okay. We're going to get better. It doesn't matter what your belief system is. Some people will believe, maybe religiously. Like some people say God has a plan. Whether you're religious or not, doesn't matter. If you think God has a plan, then that was God's plan for you to lose. So it's okay. You're still on the right track. And if you don't believe in God, which is okay too, you believe in some form of maybe like determinism or something, prior causes had this effect of why you lost. It's no big deal. Now you have a new cause. New cause is after losing, you go back in the room, you work on it, you get better. So either way, we win. That's how you have to look at life. So take every bad situation and turn it into a good situation. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. So I'm very proud of Jesse for getting out there. Again, 10-day notice on his first time. When I say 10-day notice, it might sound like an excuse, but I want to make that clear. It's not. I'm not saying it in that way. I'm saying I'm proud of Jesse for taking a fight on 10 days notice, on getting in there and just giving his best. But ultimately, we lost. And I'm also very proud of our opponent. And I don't know if it's pride, but happy for my opponent, for our opponent. And I say our and we because it's our loss. Jesse's not alone. As a coach, I don't distance myself from him when he loses or makes a mistake. I own it. When he loses, I own that loss too. That's my loss. We got to get better. So simple as that. And I hope you guys enjoyed that little, whatever you call that. I think the spaghetti's done. So I think I need to drain it now. So guys, if you guys just give me, I know you guys got comments. Give me a little moment. I'm gonna drain the spaghetti, and then it's hard because I can't. Let me get a question real quick, and then I can talk while I do this. Let me see. So is framing out not advised in MMA? He framed out and got hit. So if you guys see me, like I'm in the clinch, I throw a knee. He framed out with his head here, like that. We've got to have reactions. If we ever come out, we can stay in, or if we're going to push our way out, we've got to have reactions. We've got to kind of tuck down and flare up. We kind of push like this. We left ourselves open. Simple as that. So we're going to be working on staying in the clinch, disengaging safely. We're going to be working on, bringing our elbows up. When you're coming out, you got to be careful. You don't want to duck down and eat a knee either. So there's always something that if something's perfectly executed, you could be open, but you got to know when to get in, when to get out. I think we were just literally getting in a clinch and immediately trying to retract and get out. That made it easy for our opponent to time the shot. So, and once he saw the first one, I'm sure he noticed. Somebody told me, I haven't even seen I was there, so I didn't get to hear the interview, but somebody told me that he mentioned we did it once and then he was waiting for us to do it again. And we did it again. So, so obviously it's a muscle memory thing that we did, and it was bound to keep happening. So we needed this fight so that we can learn. If we try to find this mistake in training, like some people say, why didn't you find it in training? Your fighter is not good in the clinch or whatever. Why didn't you find it in training? Guys, sometimes you need to find it in a fight. And I would love to find everything in training, wouldn't we all? But the reality is, it's hard to find it in training, because in training, your training partner is not trying to take your head off. And when your training partner is not swinging to take your head off, it can be real difficult to sometimes find little razor close mistakes, like your head's just a little bit open and shouldn't be there. Sometimes you got to get bit. Once you get bit, you find out, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. So I'm not trying to make an excuse why we couldn't have done it before, but it is what it is. What are we going to do now? Let's get better. Let's get back on the horse. So, so framing is not a bad thing. It was bad in the context of where we framed. So anyway, yeah, I mean, a comment, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just giving you all the attention. Yeah, it was kind of like Stipe at DC 1. If you guys saw that, when they were kind of in the clinch and then a little slip of the underhook came out and wham, and DC, just smashed Stipe. It can happen to anybody, guys. We're talking about tiny little gloves. And, I'm not going to say that what happened was a fluke. It wasn't a fluke in our case. I think you could argue that Stipe's was more of a fluke. But Ours wasn't a fluke. We made the mistake. It's clear we made the mistake, but you got to learn. We're new in the UFC, so we needed more experience. We got some. Thankfully, we do have a contract, and we'll try to come back. Hopefully, UFC will give us that honor to come back and show what we have with a full camp. So, anyway, let me do this before my spaghetti gets overcooked. All right. All right. Back in the pot. Back in the pot you go. All right. So, what should I do, guys? Should I use this sauce right now? Let's go. You guys, who likes pasta? Let's go there. Got a little, I left a little of the pasta water, the cooked pasta water in there. Let's stir this up a little bit. I'm not a spaghetti master, but, you know, I can do some spaghetti. It's not as good as my my jits or my wrestling, but it's all right. Let's give you guys a little. Let's give you guys a little look. What do you think? You guys like? All right. I'm gonna put this aside, and we'll go over here. All right. Okay. All right. Let's get plugged in. All right, I guess thank you for waiting, guys. Sorry, I had to cook. I had to get it done. And I was talking to my mom, that's why I was late. I had to call my mommy. So, yeah, I'm at least a blue belt skeptic. At least. I might even have a couple stripes on my pasta making blue belt. So, okay, Yasin, would you agree with me if you threaten your opponents with your takedowns, then he's not going to be able to do what he has to do? If you threaten your opponent with your takedowns, yeah, to a degree. Like, I honestly, in hindsight, like if I go back to think about Jesse's fight, it would have been nice to try to work on a takedown, right? Maybe if we would have tried to take him down, he would have defended our takedown, and then we could have safely disengaged. That would have been a lot better. But it's like when you make one move and the move is disengage, and that's all you want to do, it's a lot easier for an opponent that's fighting in the UFC to take advantage of you, to make you pay for your mistake or for what you're doing. So anyway, Hey, this guy. Hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry, guys, if it was boring to watch me cook some pasta, but I tried to multitask. It's a little difficult, but I'm getting better at it. Anyway, so Nightlife wants to know, Coach, do you allow drop-ins at your gym? And if so, what's the day fee? Yes, I do, of course. It's only $20. So if you want to drop into a class, guys, you guys are in Southern California. I have people dropping in all the time. Obviously the channel brings in, people from around, not just California, not just the country. Sometimes they come from out of the country to visit. I mean, it's not that popular where it's all the time, but it does happen from time to time. And it was really nice to have Keith Romer the other day on Monday. You guys had that 70-year-old man come in. Man, he's just a ball of energy, and I loved working with him and meeting him and going over things. So, long shot, I'm in Southern California in Valencia or Santa Clarita, right where Magic Mountain is in Southern California. So, anyway, yeah, so Nightlife, if you like it, come on down and come try a class. So, I just had some guys from Art of Jiu Jitsu. They came maybe a week or two ago. Uh, yeah, I think 2 weeks ago we had a couple guys from Art of Jiu Jitsu come by, fans of the channel, and one of the guys really fan, and he had like all his techniques. He's like doing stuff from the channel, so I almost felt like he was like one of my students. So it was kind of cool. Anyway, Yazin, Coach, do you like video games? I do, but I try not to play that much. But I only play one video game. For those of you guys that know or want to know, I play PUBG, Player Unknown Battlegrounds. I only play it on the phone, so I don't really play it on a console or anything. I just play the mobile version where you can play on an iPad or an iPhone, and I like to play PUBG Mobile. So when I have a little extra time, but that's always difficult. May I teach your techniques with giving you credit, or must I visit and learn from the GOAT, Coach? Well, thank you very much, but of course you can. Like, guys, you could teach my techniques and not give me credit too. I mean, like, obviously it's nice to do that, but it doesn't matter, like, one way or another. So remember that, guys. Like, if a coach is or instructor is so like insecure, if they're very insecure and they get angry with you, why are you showing my moves without giving me credit? Like, it's not a big deal. I mean, even some people, you could take it a step further and like so-called plagiarize people's technique. That would be like, what if I took someone else's technique? Let's say I was watching Keenan Cornelius. I'm going to talk about Keenan in a second, but let's say I watched Keenan Cornelius and I saw him teach a move, and then I went and put it on my channel, and then I didn't give him any credit, and I claimed it was all my move, but I literally watched his move and I uploaded it like a day later, 2 days later, and I uploaded the same thing, called it my move, and I'm trying to profit. Let's say I was trying to sell the video. That would be kind of like not cool. But again, in America, what are you going to do? But um anyway, guys, you can always show my techniques to someone and teach it, and I don't care if you give me credit or not. It's nice if you do, but ultimately I want to spread the knowledge. So obviously I'm trying to also make a little bit of money in the same time. I mean, who isn't? But that's why we have Patreon and YouTube membership, and obviously, like, I need to live, I need to pay my bills and try to do all this stuff. But guys, I could care less about becoming a millionaire, and so that doesn't matter. And I really ultimately, when I'm old and gray and I'm ready to kick the bucket, what do I want? I just want to say that I helped a lot of people and I spread as much of what I have as I can. That's what I care about. That's ultimately my goal. So I don't, it doesn't, I'm not insecure. I don't need you guys to give me credit. Although it's nice, I don't need to give, you don't have to give me credit. Now, I want to say something. The reason why I brought up Keenan Cornelius, I watched a video today. He had a guy on his channel, Caveman. I don't remember that guy's name, but he had a guy showing the caveman choke or caveman squeeze, and another one where he does, I forget, it's caveman necktie, if you guys haven't seen it. And he basically chokes the guy with his knee, kind of like a Peruvian necktie, but he chokes him with his knee. And Keenan, it's very interesting because Keenan's a smart guy and he's been around a while. I mean, he's not a total new kid on the block anymore. He used to be. But what I found interesting is that he still talks about jujitsu like it's all like it hasn't been done before. And so he said, this guy invented this move. And I'm not saying he didn't. He probably did on his own. He invented it on his own. But I find it really interesting because I've heard Keenan do this in the past, a couple years ago. There is a move, the diesel squeezle. Oh my goodness. The diesel squeezle. Keenan puts a video out talking about the secret move, right? The diesel squeezle. Talks about how nobody else knows about it, and I know he doesn't mean nobody as in nobody. But guys, you know what's so funny about that? Is that move was already on my channel. So I could literally say, hey bro, you stole it from me. No, I don't think he stole it from me. I don't think that Keenan's watching Teach Me Grappling. I don't think that. I don't even think wherever he learned it, they saw it on my channel. But just because I've been doing a move way longer, but I've been around longer than Keenan. I mean, I've been doing jujitsu longer than Keenan by a lot. You know, he was probably a little kid when I started. So, it's just, it's funny to me though that Keenan, he did say in that video, he goes, I know people, it's all been done, but sometimes people make up new moves or whatever. He's right. Most things have already been done, guys. And yes, there are new things as well. However, that caveman necktie is not new. I learned that thing in the 90s. So people were doing it in the 90s. I'm not saying it was out on videotape anywhere, but I'm saying I had seen it already. And I had students that have done it. So there's another neon neck. There's a lot of neon neck variations. The caveman necktie, as the guy calls it, is like a front headlock, neon neck. There's also another neon neck that is great from north-south. A north-south locked around the head, neon neck. I haven't put that on my channel. I've known that for decades. There's a lot out there, guys. And not everything's out there on the internet. So sometimes people think, oh, it's brand new. Oh, another one. Help me out. Not Barata Plata, Tarico Plata. The Tarico Plata. Is that Tariq Hopstock's technique? Yes. Named after Tariq Hopstock. But is he the first one to ever do it? No way. No way. The Tarico Plata was done before, guys. In fact, and there is video footage of it before he was doing it. But, you know, I had mentioned it before that there was a guy that put a video out called The Amazing. And that's probably still, you could probably still find that on YouTube. So I guess let me tie it all together and I'll put it to rest. Most things have all been done. Most things that, even if you haven't seen them on video, have all been done. However, new variations and sometimes whole new moves are invented, but most things have all been done. And what else can I say? I just find it funny when somebody as good as Keenan. So I don't want to rag on Keenan. I'm saying someone as good as he is. I'm sure it's just because he's young and he kind of, maybe he's still in that phase where he's seen all these things and they're like the new thing. And he may, I think he will change when another 10 years, another decade goes by, and he's going to start to go, wait a minute, all these guys are showing moves and they're renaming them, and we already used to do them, but they're renaming the move because they come back into popularity. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. But in no way do I want to knock Keenan. All respect, the guy's amazing. And I do like watching his videos. I think he's a great instructor. So it's what I got. All right. Let me get to the next one. How do you find the balance between takedown defense? Damn, Common, everything I do is for you. How do you find the balance between takedown defense and getting back up from takedowns or sweeps? Well, I mean, you don't want to be taken down, so you got to try to work on not getting taken down. Guys, if you go with a guy who's like just better than you at takedowns, you're going to have to work on getting back up and sweeping. But, I guess you got to find where your strengths are. Everybody wants to diversify the portfolio. You want evenness, you want everything as good as you can get it. And then what happens is you find out that you can get taken down by every Division I wrestler, and every D1 wrestler can take you down, but no high school wrestlers can take you down, let's just say. And when I say no, I mean 99% of high school wrestlers can't take you down, but once you reach that Division I level, they can take you down. That's the extent of your takedown defense. Well, who's your opponent? Your opponent is a D1 wrestler. You're going into it. So I'm not saying don't work on takedown defense, but you might want to spend a little more time on getting back up after takedowns and sweeps, because the likelihood of you getting taken down is pretty high. If you can't, stop a takedown from a JV high school wrestler, I would spend some time on takedown defense, because you need to, in other words, that category is so low, you need to build it up. And it probably isn't too much work to build it up. It probably means you just don't know anything. So I hope that makes sense. You don't want any huge glaring holes in your game. So you got to work on it. Like I said, I'm going to go back to it. We got a problem with the clinch. What are we going to work on? We're going to work on that clinch. We're going to work on not getting hit as we back out of a clinch, or don't back out in the first place, or back out at the right time, or keep your hands up when you're backing out, or set it up. Go for takedowns, go for knees, go for strikes first, then back out. Make your opponent want to back out. Anyway, there's lots of different answers. None necessarily better than others. It's just got to have some different answers to the problem. So hopefully that makes sense. Sometimes I find it hard to get out of there. So I pull guard a lot of times and end up on a triangle or arm bar, but doesn't work on everybody. Yeah. I need to go back to this earlier question. What you do, though, when they keep pushing your head? I think what he means is when you're going for a takedown. When they're pushing your head, when you're trying to take them down, I think that's what you mean. So end up flipping me or pushing me away. I assume that's what you mean. Yeah, so say you're going for a takedown and the guy's pushing on your head, you can't take him down. And so you find yourself pulling guard. I'm not a big fan of the strategy. I'm not saying it cannot work, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be a like in your bag of tricks, but you don't want to be doing that half the time or even 25% of the time. That's more like a less than 10% of the time. That's a 5% or less move, in my opinion. Obviously, if that's just the only way you can get on the ground and you can't do stand up and your takedowns suck, that might up the percentage. But you know, I would say you got to work better on your takedowns. When it comes to a guy pushing your head, you got to have a strong neck. You can't have a guy pushing your head and you're just out of position all the time. You need to also learn how to fight hard with your head. Be a bull. Drive your head in. If a guy's pushing you, you make movements, you make angles so you can better place your head so it cannot be driven away. Hopefully that helps. Anyway, Cold Treasure. Hey, coach. Man, I get this question every time. Is it you, Cold Treasure? Hey, coach, is it possible to learn how to fight on your own without a sparring partner? Thanks. Well, yes and no. I mean, you can hit bags and shadow box and kick and even practice grappling techniques. Ugh, you can get a grappling dummy like what I have in the gym, but you're only going to get so good, Cold Treasure. It'd be nice to have a partner. So, can you learn how to fight? Yeah, a little bit, but doesn't mean you're going to be great at it. So, coach, how does the elbow pass guillotine escape you teach work against an arm inversion also? It works great. It works great. It works even better, none of your business. Um, it's actually easier with the arm in. So the elbow pass, because when your arm's in, the loop is bigger. The loop is bigger. It sometimes you can think that the arm control gives him more control of your body. Somewhat true, but it also makes the loop bigger, which is easier to slip your head out. So, but there's pros and cons to both the arm in and the arm out. So, or no arm. So, if I was raising a kid to be an elite grappler, do you start them in wrestling or BJJ both? At what age? Chad, as early as possible, you should be doing something. You know, if your kid's 3 years old, you should be getting some type of exercise. The kid could be learning balance, how to run, just basic things, basic movements, crawling around, how to roll. So, as early as possible. And I always would tell you, you should do both. And if you could do some judo too, that'd be great too. There's nothing wrong with starting them both really early. It does not mean that you're 3 years old and you're getting choked and armbarred and, you know, going hard. No, I'm 3-year-olds working on just simple movements. The Gracie family was playing with their kids and, working on their balance and making them memorize how to armbar or whatever, pick up a leg and then do a takedown. I'm sure you guys saw that. Maybe not all of you, but some of you saw the video where I have 5-year-old Ocean. She's 5 years old. She already knows a multitude of techniques. Doesn't look like a D1 college wrestler, but she knows a lot of things, and she's only 5. You can start early. Anyway. Hey, coach, do you think Ngannou Stipe will be a much better fight? Ngannou's trainers say his grappling and wrestling improved tremendously. Yeah, I mean, if he's been working on that, I think he's going to be hard to take down. He's a strong dude, and he only takes one shot, even though he kind of swings wild with his chin up in the air at times, like he did with Rosenstruck, or however you say his name, Rosenstruve. I can't say it properly, probably, but Ngannou kind of swung wildly with his head kind of up. Didn't look very good. It only takes one. It only takes one. So, he's definitely got a chance. Could be a much better fight. Who knows? From what I heard, Ngannou is, I believe, the favorite. Is that correct? Stipe is the champ, but Ngannou is the favorite, even though he lost the last time they fought. Anyway, hmm, I don't. I'm trying to read. Have you heard of Prit Mickelson? Yes, Brandon. I just addressed that like last week or maybe a week, 2 weeks ago. His defensive techniques. If so, what do you think of his moves? I really like him, guys. I didn't even know about him until I posted a video doing a style of escape from side control where you turn away, similar to what he does. And again, guys, these are not moves that Prit made up himself, and he's the only one that does them. There's many other instructors that like to do it as well, and of course, I'm pretty well versed, so it's something I've been familiar with for many, many years. More than a decade, probably 2 decades now. Um, so I was familiar with it, but I didn't even know about this guy because he's in Europe somewhere. And so when someone mentioned him and then told me to go look at him, I went and looked. I don't know if it was you, Brandon, but I went and looked. Um, and I was like very pleased. I was like, wow, this guy's really good. So Prit Mickelson, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he's very good. The guy's amazing. So um, yeah, I like his stuff. I like his style. It's a little different than mine, but I like it. So what is this? You guys like going back and forth? What is Dookie Daisy saying? Because Yazin's going back and forth with him. Oh, you guys are arguing over the guard pull. Whatever. I'm gonna let you guys argue. Coach, are you tired? Max. Yes, I'm tired. I gotta eat my spaghetti too. All right. Who do you have winning out of Dake and Burrows, assuming they meet up? I don't know, Chad, but I think it might be Dake's turn. I think it might be finally. Who knows? Burrows looked great against Valencia. Coach, is it fundamentally sound for Orthodox to shoot a double leg against a southpaw stance in MMA? Yes. Okay. Think about this, guys. You're Orthodox. You have left foot and forward, and you shoot a double leg against a southpaw. The southpaw is right leg forward. If you shoot, I assume you mean a left leg double leg. Yes. What I prefer to do is I like to step to the outside. So my left foot would step to the outside of my opponent's right leg, and I still shoot a double leg. It could be a single leg, but it also could be a double leg, and it's not bad. I'm going to be going over that real soon because other people have asked about that. Michael Torres, what's up, dude? Is this the Michael Torres of Santa Paula? I assume. Also trains at Gracie with Mariaiello, right? Any tips for teaching unathletic kids how to improve athleticism? Yeah, yeah. You know what I would do, Mike? I would. Okay, it is Mike. So you know what? That's a great question. Any tips for teaching unathletic kids how to improve athleticism? Guys, they have a lot of these things like training tools you can use. You can do it without the tools. You can make stuff up on your own, like plyometric type jumps. Any unathletic kid. Remember, I don't. Let's divide the world: athletic, unathletic, and then we go. This guy's unathletic. This guy's athletic. So take for example one of my kids, Chance. He's obviously athletic. Even when he was little, he was athletic. And then we've got other guys that are considered unathletic. Let me pick one out. I was talking about this today with someone. You know who's unathletic to most people's standards? Ben Askren. Think about it. Ben Askren is not fast. He's flexible. Think about his boxing. I mean, does he look good? Does he have good movement? No, he looks horrible. Maybe not absolutely horrible, but keep in mind, he's been wrestling and doing MMA for a long, 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 long time. Long time. And he still looks okay. Okay. The point is this. He's not Jordan Burroughs. Ben Askren is the opposite of Jordan Burroughs. He's the opposite of Roman Bravo Young. But he's still an NCAA champ. He obviously has other things. I don't know exactly what they are. Smart, willed. He's got a will. He likes, he won't give up. Flexibility, he's got on his side. He's funky. He's funky Ben Askren. He spent a lot of time wrestling, and he never gives up, and he's a master of the moves, right? Well, what I'm trying to say is, to some degree, the unathletic guy became a champ. So what I'm trying to say is, we divided the world into athletic and unathletic. Let's change that. Let's change it. Let's wipe that off the board. There is no unathletic and athletic. There's a spectrum. And some guys have to work this much to improve their athleticism, to get to their whatever, to where someone would call them on the previous scale athletic. They only have to work this hard. If you're unathletic, you just have to work this hard to get this athletic. So, and that's just the sad truth of the world we live in. So it's like almost like learning disabilities or anything else. We're just going to have to spend more time on it, but we're going to get it. We're going to get as good as we can get. So I know I'm long-winded, but let's put it into perspective, and let's do plyometric exercises. I was talking about tools. That's the first thing I said. Ladders. Imagine you take a ladder. Oh, you know what's super popular right now on social media? How many of you guys have seen the little lights? I'm getting them every single time I'm scrolling down Facebook. People are showing all these different sportive like lights, whether with your hands or your feet. And it's like all these things to help improve. Imagine if we actually were trained with that. Imagine if you had a coach who said, all right, here's what we're going to do. 1 minute, hop on one foot. And you got to hop like hopscotch, kind of like hop in different squares. Whatever the challenge is. If you did that with the most unathletic kids and you put in the work and you do it every day, or at least several days a week, let's say, you're putting in the work, your kid's going to develop his athleticism to a degree, to what most people call whatever athleticism means, right? We're going to develop it. So that's how you do it. And like I said, when I said there's tools, it doesn't matter if it's a box jump or, rubber bands and or juggling or lights or, agility ladder, whatever, or, hopping on one foot, trying to, all the strength training exercises, from pull-ups to rope climbs, pegboards, and rock climbing. Spend some time rock climbing. Notice how you develop. Olympic lifting. Lift weights. Olympic lifting, man. Cleans, clean and jerk, clean and push press. All of that. That's going to be incredible for your athleticism. When I started learning Olympic lifting, my athleticism went up exponentially. I all of a sudden I started taking what I learned on lifting a bar and putting a bar over my head, I started to do that with double legs. And that was incredible for me, and what a lot of people would say reasonably athletic. I don't think I'm that great of an athlete personally, but I feel like I'm a trained athlete. So anyway, enough on that subject. I'm gonna go to one more, guys, and then I gotta get some dinner and then try to get some rest. I am exhausted. So we've got one more. Let me go with none of your business. Coach, what if I shoot for a high guard and the opponent is too big for my legs to lock? Is it still a useful armbar position? I know what you mean. The guy's like so thick up top with the shoulders. When you try to raise the guard, it just kind of slides down, right? That kind of sucks. So now let me get to it. What if I shoot for the high guard and the opponent is too big for legs to lock? Is it still a useful armbar position? Well, what you have to do is you have to lock. You guys know you have to lock over the shoulder, or maybe that's what you're asking. If that's what you're asking, that's a big dude. If you can't lock your guard around over one shoulder and the other arm is inside, that's a beautiful armbar setup. I call it locking the shoulder. I'm sure other people have different names for it. I've always called it lock the shoulder. If you're doing that and you still can't lock, that's a massive dude. Then you know what you're gonna have to do? You're gonna have to cling with your legs and don't stay there long. You're gonna have to pivot, turn, and hit that armbar, Nenya. So, I mean, that's what you got to do. And if you're not talking about locking the shoulder and you're just on the upper torso, and that's why you can't hold the high guard because you can't really lock your feet too good, then you need to push one of his elbows in and make an angle and lock over one of his shoulders, and that'll make it where you can actually open up that armbar attempt. So it's not always easy to do on good guys. You got to have good setups and catch a guy slipping and be slick with it. And if you can't, then it's not going to be very useful. But then you move on, you go to something else. You don't get depressed over it. You get better. So, okay, guys. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna have to go eat some spaghetti now. I cooked it. It's probably been sitting in the pot. It's probably cooking more sitting in the pot. It's gonna be way al dente when I get to it. Anyway, guys, I know it's late. I wanted to give you guys something. Sorry again, I did not shoot a video tonight, but I definitely wanted to. I definitely wanted to address losing the fight. Because I know that there were some people that asked me that. They were like, "Hey, coach, what's up? What's going on? You lost or whatever." So, getting back to the main subject of this video, I wanted you guys to know, like, it's not a big deal. I've lost before, and I'll lose again in the future. I've also won a lot. So, guess what? Life is wins and losses, and it's what you do with those losses, which is going to determine future wins. So, don't dwell on your losses. Just get better. The great thing about losing is once you lose enough, you realize life goes on. You lose, you just get back up and you keep fighting. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time with more great stuff. Thank you.